welcome from the Internet Reloaded Berlin 2018. I'm Christina from we.CONECT and I'm here today with Alexander Fritsch from the Robert Bosch GmbH. Alex, welcome to the conference. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
And as a start, do you mind just briefly introducing yourself and tell us a bit more about your background?
Well, I'm working at the Bosch Group in the headquarters in the Stuttgart area, working in internal communications there, and I have been for about 7 years now. And currently I'm a project leader for the relaunch of our internet magazine. I'm also responsible for our internal apps, communications, controlling, and besides that, I'm still working as an editor for all our internal channels.
You'll be presenting a case study later on today, and you'll be referring or give us an introduction about the Bosch Sünder Online. Tell us a bit more about that project.
Yeah, sure. So Bosch Sünder might be a confusing name, but that's the brand name of our internal communication channels, and it has been for about 100 years now, so for the print magazine, obviously. The Bosch Sünder Online, it is basically the browser homepage that you get to see across the Bosch world. So no matter where you are, whether it's in Singapore, Chicago, Sao Paulo, when you open your browser at Bosch, you get to see Bosch Sünder Online, the internet magazine. It gives you all the news from across the company and is your entry point to the Bosch internet. And it has been for 6 years, and now we've relaunched it.
What were the main reasons for a potential relaunch of the Bosch Sünder?
Well, we have had good content and a strong editorial network before, with about 4,500 stories being published per year. And as you can imagine, no one is able to read 4,500 stories. So the real problem was to get the relevant content to the people that need it. So the platform was not personalized. I got to see all the news, not those that were relevant for me. So this was one of our main goals to change that page, to give our users a tailor-made selection of news they are interested in. Also, mobile accessibility was not possible. Of course, we had an app, but this app was kind of a stripped down version of the internet. It only has 10 news. It's publicly available. You can download it as well. But this has some issues because we don't have a login, so we can't put all the internet information inside this app. So we wanted to work on a new solution for that one. And of course, with more than 100 editors worldwide, we wanted to make their lives easier by improving the content management system as well. And last but not least, I can't show you a screenshot now, but the design was really out of date after 6 years now. So we wanted to introduce modern state-of-the-art storytelling features on our internet page that have been around in the outside world for a couple of years, and even on the Bosch homepages, so to say. So we tried to make use of all the things that were already available in the internet world.
Going back to your first point, how did you actually achieve a personalization so that if I was to work at Bosch, I only saw the topics and the articles that are only relevant to me?
We have a single sign-on for the internet, so the internet will recognize who you are. And we have the HR data where we can see where you're working, which location, which country, and which business division you're working for. So we are taking these data to personalize the experience for you. You will always get to see corporate content and global content, and this is how we ensure that messages reach all people in the world. But then you will also see content from your division, your region, your location. And if you don't like what you see, you can further customize that. You can subscribe to the news from other divisions, regions, or even to cross-divisional topics like Industry 4.0, artificial intelligence, and so on. It's happening automatically, and that's a huge plus because before the relaunch we had all the stories from the different sections, but the click rates were really low. You had to dig deep in the old system to find these stories, and now we've tremendously increased the visibility of these stories, and we hope to really make the platform more attractive.
Bosch is an incredibly complex company with so many business units. I can only imagine how hard it was to launch such a new project. But what were the major challenges that you had to overcome? The
major challenge is that we are doing mobility services, automotive technology, consumer goods, power tools, and so on. So we have a diverse range of target groups across the world, not even talking about the different professions, engineers, manufacturing technicians, and even the countries. So we have more than 50,000 people in China alone, and even a growing workforce in Africa. So we have to cater for all these different needs. But that's where our personalization feature comes in. We want to give them, of course, the global news so that it can make sense of what's happening at Bosch in total, but also their local news that they should naturally be most interested in because they affect their workplace. So this is one of the challenges, and the other one, of course, is a technical challenge to make all this system work that ensure the personalization. We had to work with many different IT departments and external agencies to make it happen.
Have you received any specific feedback so far?
There's been overwhelming feedback regarding the design. So I think I haven't read any criticism regarding the new design. Some would say maybe it's a little too fancy now, and they were looking for more sober, stripped down version. Yeah. Many of our readers are engineers after all. But so the feedback regarding our approach has been positive. We're still working on some technical issues. That's something I have to say regarding performance, because you can imagine if everyone gets a personalized page, this involves some computing time, and even on slower computers, it can take a while. So this is something we're working on alongside other improvements we are currently working on.
Coming back to the Internet Reloaded Berlin, what are your expectations towards the conference?
Of course, I want to see what the internet world is looking like at other companies, so to draw some inspiration from that, but also to see some general trends. And I already got a good inspiration earlier today when learning that we should not start introducing more tools. It's exactly my position, but we should start improving the ones that are out there. Especially by the means of artificial intelligence. So that's something we might be looking into. We are thinking about introducing bots in internal communication as well. I'm not sure if that applies to our intranet magazine, but at least that's something we have on our minds as a project maybe for this year, and that could also be used maybe on our intranet magazine.
Thank you so much for sharing your insights. It's much appreciated. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference, and good luck, of course, for the presentation of your case study.
Thanks a lot.